My name is Angel Lateral, and when it comes to practicing law, I resonate with the human spirit just as much as the judicial system. This isn't your typical business legal advice show, and I'm not your typical lawyer. As an attorney, I have over 16 years of legal experience in the areas of business law and estate planning. As a project manager, I love building and nurturing systems that work. And as a certified guide in the lineage of King Solomon, transformation consultant, and practicing Buddhist, I know this all starts with a healthy mindset. Welcome to the Laws of Abundance podcast. Legal advice from an angel. I'm your host, Angel Lateral. These last few days, my dear listeners, I've found myself upset, frantic even, emotional, and venting. I've remained grounded, but barely, and as a result, I'm tired. My cup is going dry, and as I waited in the airport to fly to Denver to meet my partner's mother for the first time, I found the words and thoughts of others around me to vibrate painfully, grating off my eardrums. This is a sign that I'm not in a good place, that I allowed myself to become the effect versus the cause in my environment, and my environment now becomes an irritant. While I was meditating with them, my runes kept repeating to me this statement. I'm over-directed towards outer things. Outer things meaning things that are outside my sphere of control, outside myself. And recently, I've felt justified in reacting because things have been outside of my control. I don't control airlines. I don't control my partner's friends and bad decisions. I don't control the internet, sales tax, rental car prices, and I've been upset because my expectations of others were not met. People I care about were injured, and there was nothing I could do about it. All I could do was react, get frazzled, and now I find myself exhausted. It took a good, hard, long look at myself today in meditation, sitting here in a hotel room in Colorado, my runes on full repeat, screaming, "Not he's, not he's, not he's." Literally, the stone turned up 3 times in 3 different sets of runes. For me to finally listen and realize that the story I'm playing, that I allowed to run my world for the past week, is bullshit. It's not the outside world making me this way. It's me, and I can be something other than upset if I choose to rise above my monkey mind and my reactionary behaviors. So let's look at the rune Nadhis, otherwise known as Need Fire. It has the following 3 rune poems associated with it. Rune poem number 1, Need is constricting on the chest, although to the children of men, it often becomes a help and salvation nevertheless. Rune poem number 2, Need makes for a difficult situation. The naked freeze in the frost. Rune poem number 3, Need is the grief of the bondmaid and a hard condition to be in and toilsome work. So Nadhis, which is translated to need or need fire, roughly means from the darkness and cold, the need for fire is realized. However, the fire must be generated within yourself to banish distress. So in other words, the only cause for the fire that banishes distress is your own will that comes from within, your own thought process and realization to rise above the stressful circumstances, or the ability to start making choices and plans. Remember idea, thought, plan, action, the 4 worlds principle from a prior episode? That puts you in places where distress does not occur. Now, per rune poem number 2, line 2, the naked freeze in the frost, i.e., those who do not help themselves out of distress remain in distress or die. The naked freeze. So those who are in victim stay in victim unless they change their own thought process. So here my runes were telling me, Angel, get your shit together and stop reacting to circumstance. Take your thoughts back. Get it together. Start being the cause. All thought is acted upon. And as the thinker, you always have control over your own thought process, both reactionary and causal. And in my case, I needed to build a fire of gratitude to start to replenish my resources and get back on track as the creator of my reality, replenishing my reserves. Now I keep saying effect versus cause, or be the cause, not the effect, in my life. My runes were being really blunt with me and reminding me of the Hermetic and Buddhist principle of cause and effect. This is Hermetic principle number 6, the laws of the universe, and this week's law of abundance. It is the law of causality, which is be the cause in your life, or else you will just experience effects. Here's the Hermetic principle as quoted from the Kybalion. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to the law. Chance is but a name for law not recognized. There are many places of causation, but nothing escapes the law. So, my listeners, thinking about the principle of cause and effect in your life, ask yourself, where am I a cause, or where am I an effect in my life? To do this, you must acknowledge your own thoughts and behaviors. Are they just reactive to your environment all the time? Are you telling yourself a story that is bringing about a certain reality? Or are you actively curating your thoughts, words, and acts to bring about effects you truly desire in your environment? When things do not go as planned, we become unhappy. I recently experienced this. But when this happens, instead of wallowing and blaming others for our unhappiness, this is focusing on outside circumstances so you end up naked and frozen like the Naughty's rune poem. You must instead identify the cause, even if the cause appears outside yourself, like my recent situation, so it can at least break you out of being a slave to reactionary thought and action, which compounds on itself, leaving us trapped in a drama blender where we keep getting whirled around by circumstance. If we can focus on the cause, we break the cycle. We recognize we can forge our own path, that we can take action to change circumstance, or at least change our mind about the situation so our thoughts and reaction is a choice we make and our own. This moves us from the victim of our circumstances to the author of our world. Cause and effect is a law of the universe that is impossible to escape. It is the root of karma. It is part of synchronicity. It is part of fate. It is part of the web of weird. No one ever escapes cause and effect, even if it may appear so on the surface or right now. It just comes in different ways to different people, but it is inescapable. But those who follow this rule of cause and effect and apply this law of abundance, this Hermetic principle to their lives, are always in the process of attempting to be the master of their lives, the will of acting in alignment with purpose, gratitude, and positivity in order to elevate themselves from a place of victim. Things like meditation, ritual, prayer, gratitude practices allow us to master the mind, gain mastery over emotions and desires, mastery over our thoughts so we can master our universe and be the change, the cause, we wish to see in the world, as Gandhi taught, as Buddha taught, as Hermetics teaches. Our thoughts equal reality. Thought and word equal first cause. We must have vigilance in our thoughts to keep our thoughts in the light and love and higher self, to remain the cause and stay a master of our lives and circumstance. This is a practice to engage in, and it's not a simple one, as my story in this podcast today illustrates. It requires constant vigilance. I can still let my circumstances set me in a thought cycle, but I have a daily practice that can pull me out of it. I learned and practice this discipline every day. I chant, I do ritual, I meditate, I work with the runes and tarot to help my higher self send me messages to wake me up if I'm getting cloudy. And sometimes I slip, but then I get back up and try again. And I did not get here alone. My path to living this law of abundance comes with 25 years of Buddhist practice and 10 plus years as an adept in the modern mystery school. Honestly, my deep hard look at cause and effect didn't really fully mature until I chose the ritual master path and started studying Hermetics, thanks to the kind and loving and nurturing of my ritual master teacher, Ep.15 Dave Lanyon. And with this training, I decided that the best way to be the cause in my life was to choose to be of service to others, to be a spiritual guide in the lineage of King Solomon, so I can teach others how to step on the path that leads to know thyself and gives people not the answer, but the tools to find the answer. In other words, I teach people how to fish versus giving them the fish. I empower versus enable. How do I do that? Specifically now with things like this podcast and the tools and teachings I'm privileged to pass down through the Empower Thyself class and initiation. If you want to step on the path to purpose and start being the cause in your life, the tools, practices, and energetic life lift that Empower Thyself class gives you are a game changer. I'm able to hand you down simple daily practices and connect you to the power cell of a 3,000 plus year old tradition that, if used, will help you know yourself better. Start to live alive and awake and empowered, so you start to be the cause in your life versus the effect. Empower Thyself is not a self-help book or some new age think yourself into being rich kind of process. It is a set of practical tools to allow you to break free from your negative ego. Everywhere your negative ego keeps you trapped. It is the beginning of a means to learning how to tell yourself the truth in a kind and loving way. The beginning of a daily practice that, if done consistently, or even at an average level of application, it is the beginning of a means to learning how to tell yourself the truth in a kind and loving way. The beginning of a daily practice that, if done consistently, or even at an average level of application, will start your engine towards making causes for your life you want to live in. It is a choice to become the author of your life and opens up so many doors. Every single dollar and minute I've invested into my own mystery school training for my personal development has come back to me tenfold in joy and abundance and life satisfaction. I am not wanting for anything in my life. And yes, I may still have a bad day here and there, but I no longer have a bad month or a bad year. I'm resilient. I have reserves, and my daily practices make me strong, so I am the author of my destiny. I love myself and I love humanity to such an extent that I'm now 100% committed to be a guide to help others to find the path to their true self. Nothing about my path has been easy or fast. This is a discipline that I choose every day, along with my Buddhist practice. But every day, I also choose love. And I hope that my words can encourage you, if nothing else, to choose to be the cause every day in your life. Free yourself from the slavery of a reactionary life ruled by thoughts and stories generated from your negative ego and lower self. And maybe my words have made you curious about Empower Thyself and learning daily practices and thought structures to help you on this path. If this is the case, then I can help with that. Reach out. We can connect and chat, get you in for a life activation, and register for Empower Thyself with me or with a guide in your geographic area. I hope to hear from you and shine the light for you to step on the path to being the cause, to finding your own inner fire. Until then, I love you all, and remember, you are the cause if you choose to be. Thank you for allowing me to help you prosper. If you like this podcast, please review and subscribe. You can find out more about me at laterallaw.com/Laws of Abundance podcast. I'm your host, Angel Lateral, and I can help with that.